everyone, and welcome to this video. I went for a walk the other day and saw some lovely wildflowers that I thought I could share with you all and talk about for a little bit. To start, I saw this buzzard while I was on my walk, just flying around, and I managed to get some footage that is okay, I guess. I do love the way that birds look when silhouetted against the sky as they're flying around. I think it's so stark and striking. First, we have tufted vetch, which is the reason I wanted to make this video. I think it's so striking when you notice it growing in amongst the grasses. Tufted vetch is a member of the bee family and is also known by the names cow vetch and bird vetch. It has these wonderful purple-pink flowers, and in this field it was growing in clumps throughout the swathes of grass. And here's a cheeky crow that flew past. It is a scrambling plant, and it climbs using these little tendrils that I'm trying to show you. They wrap around other plants, in this case grasses, and climb up. Here's a little clump of them all wrapped around each other. The bees were also having a wonderful time. I am not very practiced in bee identification at all, but I think that this little guy is an ashy mining bee. I think he's got great coloration. The white is so pretty. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But yes, the bees were all over it. Yeah, they seem very happy with the nectar provided by these flowers. There were also lots of butterflies on this day as well, but I found it more difficult to capture them on camera. I really love the colour of the vetch, how it is several shades of pink and purple, and the way that the flowers look like they're sort of tumbling down, almost kind of like a liquid, cartoony waterfall. In amongst some of the vetch, there was also bird's foot trefoil, which is this yellow flower you can see. This is another member of the bee family. It has some interesting common names, like eggs and bacon, granny's toenails, hen and chickens, and cheesecake grass. It's such a lovely, vibrant yellow, and I love seeing it next to the purple of the vetch. I think it's such a delightful colour combination. Here is just a closer look at one of the flowers and a little look at the leaf. It also sort of climbs and sprawls, similar to the vetch. The grass was also full of crickets, which you can probably hear, and grasshoppers, and here's a little grasshopper that landed in front of me while I was filming. I hope you can see him. this lovely pink is common knapweed. Again, it's a brilliant colour, and another one that the insects seem to love. It looks similar to a thistle, but it isn't spiky like thistles are. It may look like a single flower on the top of each of these plants, but each flower head is actually made up of tiny florets surrounded by long pink bracts. Here's a look from the top. The damselflies were also everywhere. This is a common blue damselfly. The males are this bright, vibrant blue, and the females are more green, I believe. I think the colour is so wonderful, and it's really cool to see them all flying around as you're walking past. I'm quite surprised I managed to get footage of one that had landed, but I think it's great. Here we have some red clover, which is also in the pea family. Another one that's really good for bees. You can see the clover markings on the leaf, like a V shape. The flowers are a pinky colour, and the brown ones that you can see are just flower heads that have gone to seed. I think this is also an edible flower. All this pink is rosebay willow herb. It is a pioneer weed and can grow in waste ground or ground that's been destroyed or burned. When it goes to seed, it has these like fluffy things that carry the seeds on the wind. Here's just a closer look at some of the flowers. Another damselfly interlude on this really beautiful thistle. I did really enjoy the shade of purple that this thistle was in contrast to the fluffy white. Again, another cool, beautiful blue damselfly. I managed to see its little face, and that was cool because I've never stopped to look at one this close up. And here he is on a stalk of grass, and he was moving his head and rubbing his eyes. I'm not entirely sure why they do that, but yeah, that's what he was doing. Very cool. Look at him go. Another grasshopper. This time, this one landed on my leg while I was knelt in the grass, and he chilled there for a bit. Yeah, he chilled there for a bit, which was nice. Okay, this is yellow rattle. It has these small yellow flowers that come out of a calyx, I think it is. Most of it had gone to seed at this point, and that's where the name the noise made by the seeds inside the dried brown calyx that you can see. I found out that it is semi-parasitic and feeds off the roots of other grasses, which makes it useful when you're trying to convert grassland to meadow, as it will feed off the more vigorous grasses, reducing their dominance and allowing other flowers to grow. There was another bee there, I think some kind of honeybee. And over here, I did manage to get a shot of a butterfly. I think this is a meadow brown butterfly, which is very common, I think, in the UK. Now we have a rapid fire bits and bobs assorted and finds. Here's some raspberries that I found. Yeah, I didn't eat any because there were only about 3, so I thought we should leave them for the creatures. Here are some unripe blackberries. They'll be ripe later in the summer. There are loads and loads of brambles, as you can probably imagine, and I will be going blackberry picking later this year. And some pineapple weed, so named for its scent, which is kind of like pineapple. I've grown some chamomile in the garden this year, and the smell is similar, kind of apple-y, almost like artificial apple.